What I realized is very important. You want the environment to be your friend, not to be your enemy. This is really the key here. I live in Denver, and Denver is not known as the financial capital of the world. And obviously Wall Street is located in New York. So the question is asked a lot, is living in Denver a good thing or a bad thing for a value investor? So I absolutely love and adore New York. I love going there. I love Central Park. I love Metropolitan Art Museum. I love the energy of New York. I love going there at Christmas time and just walking the streets. However, I also, after 3 days in New York, I love coming home. What's interesting, if you are in investment business and you live in New York, I think it actually could be a very toxic environment for an investor. Because what happens, Wall Street, even though it's big, it's somewhat a relatively small community. And therefore, when you put a lot of very competitive people in one place, they start competing against each other. And what happens that usually the way you show if you succeeded in that game is basically by different status symbols. It starts with how many blocks away do you live from Central Park? To live on the east side or west side? Does your apartment have a doorman or it doesn't? And it's what happens little by little. You find yourself, without even realizing it, you're in this some kind of Super Mario game where every single time you have to go to the next level to feel like you won. And the problem is, it's impossible to win the game because there's always going to be somebody who is at the next level. You got the right apartment on the right side of the park with the right doorman, while somebody sends the kids to a better school, or somebody bought a house in Hamptons, etc. So what I realized is very important. You want the environment to be your friend, not to be your enemy. And this is really, to be honest, this is really the key here. It's not really about New York. This message is not really about New York. But you want your environment to be your friend, not to be your enemy. Like, I'll give you an example. If you're trying to lose weight, and I'm gonna put, and you love chocolate, or if you love donuts, and I'm gonna put a box of donuts right here, try to work and not to gain weight. Okay, so probably if you want to gain weight, you probably want to have apples right next to you, not donuts. So I would argue that you really want to carefully curate your environment, because environment may or may not be stronger than you, but you fighting the environment consumes energy. That's point number one. Point number two, in investing, groupthink is very dangerous. When you have so many people, again, there's plenty of successful investors came from New York. Okay, so I'm not saying just because if you live somewhere like 1,000 miles away from Wall Street, it would be better. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think the danger of living in New York or city like London, for that matter, you have a high concentration of other investment professionals, that it's very easy to kind of fall into groupthink. So you have to be careful of this. When I sit in my quiet office, I probably see another investor every other month or so. Okay, so it's very difficult for me to develop groupthink. I mean, think about Warren Buffett. I mean, he lives in Omaha. Most people would not even know where that place is if Buffett did not live there. To be a good investor in the long term, you have to be able to think independently. Because if you think like everybody else, you get what everybody else gets. So again, my dear New York friends, nothing against you, but I would argue living in Denver or living very far away from Wall Street has been very beneficial for me. And again, I'd be very happy to come back to New York as a tourist, and be very happy going home again. Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about life, classical music, philosophy, and investing, make sure to subscribe to my articles and visit investor.fm. Thank you.